Hi, welcome again. Our lesson today is about reading type 2 text. Hi, our lesson today is going to be about reading. We are going to discuss text to type. Text 2. The length of text 2 is 180 to 220 words. And don't worry about the length of the text. It's not going to be long. And you will see now two examples, okay? The type of text 2 is descriptive and it deals with social life. The topics, we have family life, school life, free time, leisure and hobbies, animals, shopping, festivals, education, food and drink, services and entertainment. So the word, of course, most of these words you know, but let's look at the word leisure together. It means free time. And of course, when you have free time, you should have some hobbies, okay? Also, if you look at festivals, it is describing some festivals like Dubai Shopping Festival. It can be some carnivals, also some ceremonies all over the world. Let's have a look at a text now. The history of Indian food is as rich and diverse as the history of India itself. So this is the first paragraph of our test. So let's look at the first paragraph. It's all composed of one sentence and it's dealing with the history of Indian food. So when we read such a passage, we always look at the first sentence of each paragraph to know the main idea of each paragraph. In our case here today, the first paragraph is only one sentence. And if we read it, we will understand, we will know the main idea. What is the whole passage going to be about? Here, they are talking about the history of Indian food, and they are telling us that it is rich and it has we will know lots of information about the Indian food, as well as, of course, the history of India itself. Second paragraph, it starts by saying the earliest Indians probably ate mainly wheat, rice and lentils, and occasionally cows, pigs, sheep, goats and chickens. Some of the wheat was made into stews or soups and some into flat breads called chapatis. And I think we all eat here chapatis. It's a kind of bread. We are going to look at some of these difficult words later, okay? But again, what is the main idea of paragraph 2? If you just read the first sentence, you will know that the main idea of paragraph 2 is the type of food the Indians ate, okay? And not any Indians, they are the earliest Indians, okay? So we are dealing with history of Indian food. Let's look at paragraph 3. It says by around 300 AD, meat eating became less popular, and although people didn't give up eating meat entirely, they ate much less of it, and a lot of people became vegetarians. So of course, here again, the topic or the main idea of paragraph 3 is that eating of meat became less popular. And let's look at the word popular together. It means they didn't like it. It became not famous, okay? They tried to stop eating meat. And of course, they did not give up eating meat, but again, they ate less of it. And so most of them became vegetarians. And of course, vegetarians means, of course, from the word, it means that the people who ate vegetables. Let's look at paragraph 3. In around 650, cows became sacred to Hindus, and so they stopped eating beef. So what happened is that they stopped eating beef at around 650 because the Hindus, they started to worship cows. So they can't eat their gods. So they stopped eating beef. And let's link between the word beef and cows. And of course, if they worshipped cows, they couldn't eat the beef. So beef means the meat which we get from cows. And let's look at the word sacred. It means that they started to worship cows, okay? In 1110 AD, when Islam reached northern India, most people in India stopped eating pork as well because it is forbidden in Islam. So after some years, which is in 1110, Islam reached northern India, and so they stopped eating pork. So what do you think the meaning of the word pork? Pork is, of course, the meat which we take from the pigs. And because in Islam we can't eat pork, so they stopped eating pork. So in the other paragraph, Hindus stopped eating beef, and Muslims stopped eating pork. People could still eat sheep, goats, or chicken, but most of the people in India became vegetarians and only ate meat very rarely or not at all. So some of them stopped eating, as we said, beef. Others stopped eating pork, and they could still eat sheep, goats, and chicken. But again, most of the people became vegetarians. Let's have a look at the coming paragraph. The vegetarian food that Indians ate was mainly wheat flatbreads, or a kind of flatbreads made out of chickpeas. With a spicy vegetarian sauce and yogurt, people also ate rice with yogurt and vegetables. So again, the main idea, or this paragraph, is talking about the kind of food the Indians ate. Okay, and not any Indians, they are the vegetarian ones. Okay, so what is the vegetarian food? It is mainly wheat flatbreads, or the flatbread made out of chickpeas. Okay, and of course they had spicy. Of course, all of you know that Indian food is very spicy. The last paragraph, it's talking now about what's happening nowadays. Okay, it's today, at the present time. Indian cuisine is one of the best loved cuisines in the world, and we are going to look at the word cuisine together. Cuisine means the kind of food which is made in one country. In our case here, it is Indian. Okay, and people everywhere now enjoy the huge variety Indian food has to offer, and almost every city in the world has at least one Indian restaurant. Okay, so let's have a look at the text as a whole. As you can see, we started the first paragraph, we started by the history of Indian food. Then we moved from the we have the words earliest, and then they started to give us dates like 300 AD. Then recently we have 650. Then after that we move on to 1100 AD, and then we move to present time. So history means that we start from very old in time until very recent in time. Let's have a look at some of the difficult words. Wheat. I don't think wheat is a difficult word, but this is the picture which means wheat. It's a plant, small grains which we make bread from. Pig and pork. This is the pig, and the pork is the meat of the pig, which of course was forbidden in India when Islam reached there. Chickpeas I think all of you know chickpeas. We love it when we eat it with salad. The last word is the word cuisine, and this is a French word, and it means a style of method of cooking, especially as characteristic of a particular place. So it's the kind of food some people eat in place. So each country, each area got its own cuisine. So it's the food cooked in a certain way, and this word is originally French, and it means kitchen. So if you are studying French, you know that the word cuisine means the kitchen. But here we are using it to mean the kind or the style of cooking, okay? So these words are some of these words are difficult because maybe you don't know you know the word itself in Arabic, but maybe you don't know it in English. So let's look at them again. Wheat, pig, pork, chickpeas, cuisine. Let's have a look at the style of questions. So before we move on, as we said before, in such passages, when you tackle them, you have to do some skimming and some scanning, okay? Skimming is what we did now. When we looked at each paragraph, we looked at the topic sentence in order to know the main idea of each paragraph. Now, in order to answer such questions, we are going to do some scanning, okay? So mark true or false. Again, this is a new type of questions which we are going to look at, and you will have it in the midterm exam. Number 1, vegetarians never eat rice. So the key words again, vegetarians and never, and of course rice, okay? So what do you think? Let's go back to the passage. I'll give you half of a minute to find the answer. Yeah. So if you go to the paragraph before last, you have the vegetarian food, and of course people means that the people who are vegetarians, and they also, which is not never, okay, and they ate rice. So is it true or false? Yes, it's false. Excellent. Let's look at number 2. The passage is about the history of Indian food. So, what do you think? Now, the key word here is the history of Indian food. So, should we go back to the passage to find the answer for this question? Yeah, I heard you. Yeah, we shouldn't go back. So remember when we were talking about the first paragraph, which was the first sentence of the passage, and we said that it's talking about the history of Indian food. So it's there at the first beginning of the text. So is it true or false? Very good. It's true. Number 3. The history of the Indian food is more popular than the history of India itself. Again, let's look at the keywords. So you have history of Indian food, and you have more popular than, and the history of India itself. So which is more famous? Okay, is it the history of Indian food or the history of India? So would you like to go back to the passage? Okay, So let's find out the answer. It's false, because it's not more popular, it has the same rank. Okay, so it's the same, it is, both of them are popular. Let's look at another type of question. Complete the following table. Again, this is a new style of questions which we are going to look at in this text. Okay, so we have true or false. Complete the following table. Here you have the table dealing with time and event. So there are some, the time is there, and you have to go back to the passage and find out what happened in that time. Okay, so you are going to fill in the blanks. Let's look at the first one. The event was eating meat became less popular. Let's go back to the passage and find out. Be careful with less popular. Okay, it's the key word. Okay, is eating meat less popular? Did this happen in year 650? So, in order to answer such a question, you just have to look at the time, the date, and the event which is beside it. So let's say in 650, what happened? The cows became sacred to Hindus. Okay, and in year 1110 AD, what happened? Islam reached northern India. What about when eating meat became less popular? This happened when? Yeah, it's by around 300 AD. So the answer is going to be (300 AD). Let's look at the second gap in the table. You have the time here, and they want you to put the event. So the time is 650. So what happened in year 650? Okay, let's go back to the text. So again, you are going to do scanning. You go for the year 650 and you find out what happened, what was the event. No, it's not Islam reached northern India, because this happened in year 1100. Yeah, now you are correct. It's cows became sacred to Hindus. Let's go back to the text, to the table, and find out the answer. Yes, cows became sacred to Hindus. Now they wanted to put the date again. The event was Islam reached northern India. I'm going to leave you for 2 seconds to find the answer. Yes, very good. Yes, it's 1100. The last gap we have to fill is, we have the event is Indian cuisine is very famous. So this happened when? Do you think this happened earlier, or which is the earliest Indians, early in history, or when? When was the Indian cuisine famous? Yeah. So do they mean here by today mean today, this day, or do they mean the present time? What do you think? Yeah, today here means the present time, which means in our present time, not today, which is the day we are living in now. So this is another type of question, which is completing a table. So in our case here we have the time. So the first time is 300 AD, the second one is 1110, and the last gap is today. And the events, of course, we have eating meat became less popular, cows became sacred to Hindus, Islam reached northern India, and Indian cuisine is very famous. And when we deal with the table, you know that always a table focuses on the main points. So it's like summing up of the whole text. Okay? So again, don't worry, things are manageable, things can be very easy. Okay? Let's have a look at another type of question. Answer the following questions. So we have some questions. You are going to refer to the text, find the answer, and write it. Okay? Number 1. Why did Hindus stop eating beef? So the key question here is the WH word, why. So we need here the reason for stopping eating beef. Okay? And of course, which is done by Hindus, not any other people. So let's refer to the text. I'll give you 1 minute to find the answer. Yeah, if you scan the passage, you just look for the word Hindus, which you are going to find it in the 4th paragraph. And so you find the reason. Why did they stop eating beef? Why? Of course, we said before that beef is the meat which we take from cows. So if they stop eating meat, because what? Because cows became sacred to Hindus. Okay? So why did they stop eating meat? Because cows became sacred to Hindus. Yes. So here we have full answer. Hindus stopped eating meat because cows became sacred. And be careful with when we answer the question in the past tense, we have did. So the verb stop I'll use it in the past simple tense. So it will have the past simple form, which is here in this case stopped. I just add ed. Very good. Number 2. What do vegetarians in India always eat? The key word here is what? Vegetarians in India. Okay? And the type of food they eat. Okay? So let's refer to the text. I'll give you time to find the answer. Okay? So again, we are going to remember the question was the vegetarian food that Indians ate. So what kind of food? If you just scan the passage, you go for paragraph before last, and you'll find all the type of food the Indian vegetarians ate. Okay? So of course it was mainly wheat flatbreads, kind of flatbread made out of chickpeas, with a spicy vegetarian sauce and yogurt, and also they ate some rice with yogurt and vegetables. Let's look at the answer. They always eat wheat, chickpeas, flatbreads with spicy sauce and yogurt. Very good. Number 3. Where can people enjoy eating Indian food? So here my key question is where. So remember, in number 1 we had why, we're looking for reason. Number 2 we had what, we're looking for things. And number 3 we have where, so we are looking for the place. Which can people enjoy eating Indian food? So where, the place. Okay, let's go back to the text and find the answer. So in order to find the answer, where do you think we are going to look for in the text? Are we going to use the second paragraph, which was talking about the earliest Indians? Or are we going to look at the 4th or 5th paragraph, which was talking about Islam reaching northern India, which happened in year 1100 AD? Or what? Be careful, they are asking us about today, the present time. So we are going to look at the last paragraph. Yes, and it's there. People everywhere now enjoy the huge variety of Indian food has to offer, and almost every city in the world has at least one Indian restaurant. So if you would like to eat Indian food, where to go? Yeah, it's Indian restaurant. Okay, so the answer is people can enjoy eating Indian food in Indian restaurants available everywhere. So they are there everywhere. Available means you can find them everywhere. Okay, so the third type of questions is, as you can see, it's answered the following questions, where you can just look for the answers, and you have mostly the questions could be WH questions, as in our case here we have 3 questions. The first one is why, second one what, and third one is where. Sometimes you can find them yes no questions, where you answer yes or no, but in our case now we have them as WH questions. Okay, let's have a look at another passage. Let's look at another text of the same type. Okay, so again, this is the first paragraph of this text. In order to know the main idea of the paragraph, you are going to read, as we said before, you are going to read the topic sentence, which is the first sentence in the text. Okay, so let's have a look at the first sentence here. Have you ever visited the zoo just to see the giant panda? So what is the main idea? What are you going to read about? Yeah, very good. The giant panda. Let's continue. What is a panda? As you can see, this is the panda. The picture is there to show you. I think we all love pandas. Okay, let's have a look at the text and see what it has to tell us about the giant panda. So it says here, the giant panda is one of the world's rarest animals and comes from southwestern China. So as we say, as it says here, it is the rarest. It means that you can't find it in all places, okay, and its number is getting less, and it comes from China. It is black and white in color and looks like a bear. The panda is between 160 and 180 centimeters in length, weighs about 80 to 125 kilograms, and can live to be 34 years old. Although the panda has a huge head and heavy body, it is also very attractive with a short tail and round ears. The panda has black spots on its eyes, ears, shoulders, and legs. The rest of the panda is white. So as you can see in the picture, you have that there are lots of black spots in the body of the panda, and all the rest of the panda is white. So the first passage is telling us a description of the panda. Can you see that? So they are telling us that we are going to read about the giant panda, and then the rest of the paragraph is talking about its place, where where it comes from, okay, which is China in this case. And then the description, it looks like what? It's black, it's white, and it looks like a bear. I think it's, here it is. And again, it's 160 to 180 centimeters in length and weighs about 80 to 120 kilograms. Again, this is all this description, and can live to be 34 years old. And then they talked about its shape. Okay, it is attractive, short tail, huge head, heavy body, and short tail, round ears. And then they told us here about the spots, the black spots on its eyes, ears, shoulders, and legs. And of course the rest of the panda is all white. So the whole first paragraph is describing the animal. Okay, let's have a look at the rest of the passage. Again, the first paragraph, the second paragraph, we are going to look at the first sentence of the second paragraph, which is the topic sentence. So we have here, pandas live in a deep bamboo forest or at higher elevations in snowy or rocky areas. So here the place where it lives, okay, as we said, so it is in bamboo forest or at high elevations, and the word elevation means high place. Okay, it can be in snowy or rocky areas. They prefer to live on the ground, but can also climb trees to look for food. So they can be on the ground, and of course you can find them climbing the trees for food. Like bears, the panda tends to live alone. So they are not very sociable, okay? They live alone. However, it does not sleep through the winter like bears. So it's different from the bears, okay? And how did I know that it is different? Because we had the word however. And I think you know that when we use however, means we are now comparing two things, okay? And they are different from each other. The panda eats bamboo fish and small amount of meat. Remember that they were living in bamboo forest, so it's very normal to eat bamboo fish. And of course, bamboo is a kind of plant where you can find it in tropical areas like China, and it's very long plant, okay, with very long and round stem. So they eat bamboo fish and small amount of meat. It can spend 10 to 12 hours a day eating up to 12 to 15 kilograms of food. So it can spend lots of time okay, 10 to 12 hours a day eating. And how many kilograms they are eating? It's 12 to 15 kilograms of food. Okay, let's have a look at the third paragraph. Again, in order to know the main idea of the paragraph, we are going to look at the topic sentence. I insist on reminding you, because topic sentence is very important, and it can tell you lots of information about the paragraph without making lots of effort in knowing the main idea of the paragraph. So pandas are very vocal animals and can communicate through 11 different calls. So what do we mean by the word vocal? Sometimes you will find that you can't understand the meaning of a word. But again, if you just look carefully at the sentence itself, you will find that it is explained in the same sentence. So if you understand, if you look at the word vocal, and then you can continue to and can communicate through 11 different calls, then I think you will know the meaning of the word vocal. It means dealing with others by calls, by having voices, sounds. So that's the meaning of the word vocal. Communicating with others using calls or sounds. They also communicate by rubbing a strong scent onto tree trunks and stones. So again, they have one way of communication, which is calling it like sounds, different sounds, and another way of communication, of dealing with the other animal, is by rubbing a strong scent on the tree, onto tree trunks and stones. And of course, the word scent means like smell. So when they smell the tree, they know each other. They also scratch trees to identify their territory, which is one of the reasons that people seem to believe that the panda is from the bear family. But it is actually from the raccoon family, which is a surprise to us, because most of us knew that pandas were from the bear family, but really were from the raccoon family, which is another animal. So let's go back to this part here. They scratch trees. They scratch trees, okay, and scratch means like to put some marks on the trees, okay. So they put marks on the trees. For what reason? To identify, to know their territory, which is the area they are living in. It's like their place, okay. So again, if we look at the last paragraph, we will know more about pandas, and we knew that they are vocal animals. They communicate by having lots of voices or sounds, and also they communicate by rubbing strong scent on tree, and they can scratch trees to identify their areas, their places, okay. And because of that, they are different from the family, the bear family, and they belong to the raccoon family. Okay, let's have a look at the questions. Again, the first type of questions we are going to look at is mark true or false. A panda spends half of its day eating. So let's look at that. A panda spends half of its day doing what? Eating. Is this true or false? Let's go back to the text. I'll give you 1 minute to find the answer. To help you, I would like you to scan the first paragraph of this slide. Yeah, it's towards the end of this paragraph. It can spend 10 to 12 hours a day eating. So let's go back to the question. So what do you think? Is it true or false? Yes, it is true, because they said they spend 10 to 12 hours eating. Number 2, a panda is part of the bear family. It's part, so the key word here is the word part, bear, and family. So let's go back to the text and have a look at the last line. So if you just look at the last line, you'll find it's from the bear family, but it is actually from the raccoon family. So is it true or false? False. Very good. Number 3, pandas are non-vocal animals. Of course, we are talking about pandas, and so we have here the word non-vocal animals, okay? And I think we talked about the word vocal together, and here we have non-vocal, which is, of course, which means that it's not, okay? Non here means not, negative. So is it true or false? Yeah, they are very vocal animals, so that's why our sentence is false. Okay, so again, the first type of the question is mark true or false, as we said. And again, in order to answer such a question, you are just to look at the keywords in the sentence itself, go to the text and scan it and find true or false. Let's move on to the second type of question, which is again completing the following table. As we said before, always when you deal with a table, it's like summing up of everything is there which is in the text, okay? It's a form of summary. So you look for the main events, okay? Or for timings or for names according to the table itself. Let's have a look at our table today. So the first here, the table, you are going to add the information needed. So the first thing we have is name, country, weight, and habitat. I think you know the word name, the name of whatever we are talking about. Also, the word country, you know it, which is the place of what we are talking about. And when we look at name, don't forget to write the name in a capital letter, because this is the name of whatever we are talking about. With country, we are looking for place, and with weight, we are looking for numbers, okay? The last one, which is the habitat, it means the place where it lives, okay? So let's go back to the text and find out how are we going to complete this table. I'm going to give you just 2 minutes to look at the passage and try to figure out the information missing, okay? Okay, let's go back to the table and see what you did. So for the first part, which is name, so of course the name of what we are the thing we are talking about, so it's the giant panda, of course. So the whole passage is about the giant panda. The country, yeah, China. Excellent. So we are summing up all the whole passage. Weight is from 80 to 120 kilograms. And again, this is mentioned in the first paragraph of the description. Habitat, which is of course bamboo forest, as we said before. So again, the name is giant panda, country, China, weight 80 to 125 kilograms, and habitat is the bamboo forest. If you just look at the table, you will understand most of the information which is given to us in the passage. Okay? So again, this type of question is very easy. You can do it easily without any problem. Okay? Just have a look at the things they want you to complete and scan the passage to find them. Very good. So let's have a look at the other type, the last type of questions, which is answer the following questions. Again, you have to look at the question, go refer back to the text and choose the answer and write it. Question number 1 is, how many hours does a panda spend sleeping? So here we have WH question and we are looking for how many hours. Okay, so we are going to look for numbers of hours, and number of hours of what? Sleeping. Okay, that the panda is sleeping. Let's go back to the text. Yes, it's here. However, so here it says, as we said, it spends 10 to 12 hours. It spends 10 to 12 hours sleeping. Excellent. Number 2, why do pandas scratch trees? So again, the key word here, the key question is why. So we are looking for reason, okay, remember? And of course, why do they scratch trees? Remember when we said scratch means to leave marks on the trees. Let's go back to the last paragraph, and we have here through the end of the paragraph, they say here, they also scratch trees to identify their territory. Here to means in order to, it's the reason, okay, for doing it. Let's see the answer together. They scratch trees to identify their territory. Very good. Number 3, what does a panda eat? What does a panda eat? Okay, so here we are looking for the things that the panda eat. Okay, what? So if you have in the question the word eat, then you go for the passage, in the passage, and look and scan, okay, and find the word eats, okay. Then you go through the whole sentence to find the type of food they eat, okay. So the panda here eats bamboo fish and small amount of meat. So it's there. Let's have a look at the question, the answer. A panda eats fish and small amounts of meat. Okay, so this is the last of our questions, and we looked at text 2 together, and as we said, it's not very long text, okay, and it deals with, of course, descriptive. They were describing things to us. The type of questions we had is true or false, completing a table, and answer the questions. Okay, so again, don't worry about answering them. They are easy, and you know how to tackle a text. Just use skimming and scanning. You skim to find the main idea, and we said we skim by looking at the topic sentence at the beginning of each paragraph, sometimes at the end of the paragraph. And you scan, you just look for the keyword and you, in the question, and you go to look for it in the text and then find your answers. Thank you. Good luck. This is the end of our lesson today. I hope it was useful and fruitful. Till we meet again next time, I wish you all happiness and success.